Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about the biggest debt bubble, as well as artificial intelligence. And I will touch on gold and silver as well. So before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop or token swap. Also, if you haven't installed the Brave browser, you can click the link below to install the Brave browser because it brought out all the advertising. That is a pretty cool browser. Better than, of course, better than Internet Explorer. I don't use Internet Explorer for a very long time, almost probably at least 10 years. And let's talk about the global debt. So right now, the global debt is around 188 trillions. And this is a little bit insane. And of course, it's growing every day. And with right now, your Ripple, basically another version of QE, right? So basically printing all this money because there's not enough money between the bank-to-bank transactions. And this is basically the debt is a form of enslavement. And of course, a lot of people argue that, hey, this is not a slavery, blah, blah. But the thing, if you still remember the financial crisis in 2008 and 2009, after the financial crisis, the Federal Reserve print tons of money, basically giving it to the big bank and bail out the big bank. Even a lot of bank that is a very small bank like credit unions or small bank or regional banks, they are not affected by the toxic mortgage. They still receive the money. You know, if you still remember some of the interviews from 60 Minutes, those small bank, regional banks saying that I don't need the money. We are fine because we are not exposed to those toxic assets. And the Federal Reserve is saying that, okay, central bank is saying that, oh, you need to get this money, okay? I'm going to give it to you, regardless of whether you are suffer from any losses from the toxic asset that, the financial crisis in 2008. So a lot of big banks, small bank, or regional banks, they get freebies, free money from the central banks. And of course, they get all this money for free, but in turn, they loan out this money to average Joe in the form of automobiles loan, student loan, credit card loans, right? Credit card, basically, if you don't pay in time, then you probably get some credit card or cash advances or stuff like that, credit card debt, and of course the mortgage. So they charge you, the bank charge you for 5%, 6%, 4%, 3%, depending on the type of loan that you are getting. But basically, they get all this free money for free. So basically, their cost is 0%. And they turn around and loan all this money to you, charging you 6%, 5%, or whatnot. Or of course, credit card debt can go to like maybe 10% or 11% or even 17%. And of course, this is of course modern slavery. And basically, the global elite, the big banks, the banker, are extracting the wealth from everybody, from all of us, from the working workforce, and this is a form of slavery. Don't you guys realize that? Because they extract all the wealth, and basically their money they get from the central bank or the bank or whatever, those are freebies for them, and they turn around and loan this money to you. So basically, they just want to control everything, right? And of course, you have to go through your credit score, blah, 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 and set up all this stupid system, that you qualify for a loan, you can pay them back, they make sure that the borrower can pay them back and all these things. And of course, the credit card debt is another thing. If you don't pay in full, then you're going to make small payment each month, right? And then end up you paying more or double the amount of money that you originally borrow, plus interest, plus transaction fee, plus all this. And don't forget, the cost of money for them is free, once again, okay? And then they turn around to loan out all this money to you. So that is so, unfortunately, this is how the global elite, the big banks, how the bankers has been working for thousands and thousands of years. And of course, a lot of people still don't realize that, I guess. And of course, in the US, they have totally $23 trillion in debt. And basically just for the interest, they got $500 billion just in interest from all this debt, from average Joe on an annual basis. So basically, the global elite, the big banks, the bankers, they extracting $500 billion just in interest alone every single year. So, so another thing they talk about, this is not an accident from the Federal Reserve and the federal income tax were both instituted in 1913. And this is pretty interesting. The reason why they say that in here is because the income tax, the federal income tax, was basically needed serve as a mechanism to transfer. It's basically a wealth transfer from the people who are working to the government to service all this debt. And this is crazy because they're taxing you, like depending on which state you're living in, depending on how high your income. I think most of them, they probably get the they got a withheld, the tax withheld every single paycheck, like every 2 weeks you get a tax withheld, and basically maybe around 30% or 20% depending on how much you make, and they already withheld your money, like 20, and then you get a tax refund and all that. And the thing is, the money that they withheld is time value of money. We can use that, for investment to turn around to do something else. But then those are lost because it was withheld. So the whole year, your money was withheld, basically. And all this money is basically servicing the government debt. And in turn, those debt, they bail out. And then, 2008 financial crisis, they bail out the banks, so they use all this money. It's the taxpayer money, basically, and they get all this from the income tax. And then the big bank get the free money. The free money turn around is not free to the average Joe. The average Joe basically has to give 5% or 6% interest. So I mean, this is a good business, seriously. I mean, you buy basically you buy a product for free, and then you turn around and sell it to somebody for a profit, basically. And another thing is interesting. There's only 9 very small nations do not have a central bank at this point. Palau, Marshall Islands, Federal State of Micronesia. I mean, those are very small island and less than 0.1% of the total global population. And the global elite do not want humanity to be free. They want us to be as much debt as possible so that we can make them richer. Yes, that's true, because just the interest alone is 500 billion every year just to service the debt. And with the record high $188 trillion in debt globally, that is very interesting if this bubble is going to be bursting in the next 5 to 10 years. We don't know. And let me know what you think about this debt. I mean, this type of debt can be in a student loan, can be in a corporate debt, can be in a lot of different like mortgage, stuff like that. In terms of corporate debt, this is pretty interesting. Corporate debt, right now, a lot of big companies, even Apple, they buy back their own stock. Instead of putting in R&D, research and development, to create the next big thing, they use the debt to buy back their own stock. In turn, it pumps up the price of their stock. And of course, those executives are selling the stock because they pump up the price. They will sell the stock, to have their personal gain. I'm not saying that certain Apple doing that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it just makes perfect sense. So I don't know. I don't know if the executive are selling their stock after they do buyback. I'm not sure. I don't know. But this has been happening in a lot of corporations. So this is basically is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because like basically you use your corporate debt to pump up the price to buy back the stock, and then the price of course will go up, and then when the price go up, the executives sell the stock. I mean, this I think is a little bit crazy. And I will touch on gold and silver a little bit. In terms of the commitment of trade, this is the latest one, November 5th. The one yesterday that I talked about, I think, not yesterday, the first day I talked about is October 29. So I go through this number, the short and long position for commercial, non-commercial, they are pretty much the same for gold and silver. Nothing major has changed. But the thing is, you cannot just rely on this, because this is just a snapshot on November 5th. And currently we are on November 9 already. So anything can happen. Some of the position may be liquidate. We don't know. But based on the chart right now, they could have liquidated some of the stuff probably. And then there's an article talk about from Bloomberg saying that gold suffer worst week in 3 years as bull run for the cover. That's good to see some of those because maybe it's a good time to buy. I think I would buy something, buy on the dips. If there's a dips, I will buy. If they are going, I mean, if they are rising, I don't buy. Usually, I just buy on the dips. And nobody have a crystal ball, which direction. But the thing is, if I enter a position, I usually check all the indicator. We look at the chart and everything, and make sure it meet all the indicators before I get into a position. So not a financial advice. You are responsible for your own money, and just same as Bitcoin as well. I will get into a position if they meet all the indicator, then I will buy. Otherwise, I will not buy because you cannot just follow the hertz. You have to know a little bit technical analysis in order to make an educated decision whether to trade or not. So that's all you can do. I mean, you can just do your own due diligence, right? And in terms of the crypto fear and greed index, right now it's at fear. I think it's at 33 or something like that. Yeah, 38. And the next stop, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. So the AI. So why the globalists are so obsessed with artificial intelligence? And right now they're promoting AI is good. This is the good thing for the humanity and stuff like that. There have been a whole bunch of like Sophia, the AI. You probably heard about that. It's developed by Hanson Robotics. And this is the first robot to get a citizenship from Saudi Arabia. I don't know. This is a little bit crazy. I mean, this is just artificial intelligence. So let's talk about the real reason why the globalists, they're obsessed with artificial intelligence. And basically in the United Nations, they has adopted numerous positions and even summits saying that AI for Good or summit in AI for Good summit in Geneva. This is pretty scary. They say something like that because artificial intelligence right now that's not regulated, and anybody who program the AI, they can program for good or they can program for bad. And basically, the AI need a tremendous amount of data in order to feed the neural network of the machine learning. So you can argue that, hey, this may be good for the community, blah blah. I don't think so, because if you listen to the I think interview in South by Southwest, Austin, Texas, Elon Musk talk about artificial intelligence. He talked about this is as dangerous as a nuclear weapon. The reason why he say that is because right now there's no regulations. So anybody can create artificial intelligence. You can create a monster to do bad to the human. You don't know. And also, artificial intelligence can learn very fast It's like exponential growth, and they can leapfrog in probably in 5 to 10 years. I mean, I think it's even faster than that. So so the whole thing why the globalists want artificial intelligence, and the reason why is because is basically surveillance. So right now there's so much data, that for example in Twitter there's so much data. Just a human cannot analyze all this data. So basically it's a mass surveillance. They want to collect all this data and then come up with a conclusion, who is good and who is bad, and they can identify potential opposition. They can scout through the social media, electronic mail, and keywords to identify potential opposition and potential predict public behavior. And this could be, I mean, the thing is, who is going to decide that? Who is setting those standard or criteria for the AI looking for those identify potential danger or stuff like that? And also another thing is AI will one day be able to identify criminals before they ever commit an actual crime. So this is very scary. So right now you presume to be innocent until you're proven guilty, right? You can remain silent and until you're proven guilty. But right now, in the future world, they can based on the algorithm, based on how they program the AI, they can say that you are presumed, you are pre-crime, how can I say, that they can identify criminals before they even commit an actual crime. So they can maybe charge you for pre-crime something. That's ridiculous, right? I mean, it may happen, you never know. So they will say, hey, this is a list of identifiable criminals. You better catch them or lock them up before they commit a crime. I mean, this could happen in the future. Don't laugh. I mean, this could happen. Another question is, who is setting the standard for the AI to looking for looking for when identify the potential criminals? So who is setting the criteria to identify these potential criminals? I mean, seriously, how can we determine that? I mean, computer can also make mistakes, right? I mean, nobody is perfect. Human make mistakes, computer can make mistakes. I mean, who can identify that? And the thing is, the person who programmed this AI, they can be a bad person. They can program something bad and then identify a good person to be a bad person. You never know. So I think AI is pretty scary in the future without regulations, without any certain type of criteria how you develop AI. This could be very potentially destructive to the humankind. I don't know if you agree with me. Please comment below. What do you think about the artificial intelligence? Do you think it is good to humanity or this will destroy humanity? And this picture is drawn by AI, artificial intelligence. And this picture was sold for over 400,000. And this picture to me looks pretty creepy. What do you think about this picture? It's drawn by AI. So the thing is, when AI draw the picture, they don't have any soul. They don't have any feelings when they're drawing it. They're just drawn from the algorithm, from the data they collect, and for the data. And another thing is AI can learn really fast if they have mass amount of data that feed into the neural network, the machine learning. So right now you have Alexa in Amazon. Those are very primitive type of artificial intelligence. They basically collect your data and help to develop AI. So I don't use those Siri or the Alexa. I don't use those things because I don't want to support any artificial intelligence fitting into the neural network. And of course, another thing, AI require very high-speed internet. That's why 5G is coming in. That's another thing. Those are pieced together, basically. And 5G is not good for your health because those are not microwave. Those are milliwaves. Milliwave is even smaller than microwave. So that means that can get into your body. And those tower signal has to be very close to one another in a community. And those milliwaves can go through your body and potentially can cause brain damage or cancer, stuff like that. So I don't know, 5G is not good either. Probably we need to move to a remote area. Let me know what you think about this AI. Do you think it's good to the mankind or not? And what do you think about the potentially loss of jobs to the AI? Self-driving car, and even a specialist, a radiologist, is going to lose their job in the next probably next 10 years, I guess, because radiologist is basically a doctor, right? They look through the slide to diagnose cancer, and based on some study I think they published a study saying that AI can look at those chart, look at the picture to diagnose cancer better than a doctor. So even a doctor will lose their jobs in the future. So let me know what you think about this global debt, 188 trillion. We are the debt of slavery, and basically it's a modern type of slavery. And what do you think about the artificial intelligence? Please comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, or share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop or giveaway. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. And if you have already subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out the upcoming videos. And please comment below. I would love to hear from you what you think about this global debt as well as the artificial intelligence. And remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, Stay safe. Peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency or commodity has inherent risk. Please use your due diligence.